What's going on, everybody? This is Reaper, and I am back with another video. Alright, well, today I'm going to go over my review on the actual Warzone portion of Season 1 of Black Ops 7, and how Resurgence actually was a humongous gold find for me, everybody. And this is going to be one of my first games ever playing it, and I actually won a match. And I won a match because of my teammate, but I did win the match altogether, and it did show the cutscene at the end and number one, so on and so forth. And I went 13-5. So, but this mode is actually, it's basically like, open Warzone, except you have respawns up to a certain point. And if you've been playing Call of Duty since 2019, you all know how this how this mode works and stuff, because it was in Black Ops 6, it was in the other CODs. So the thing I like about this mode this time is it actually seems a lot simpler because the map is a lot smaller. So the map actually is actually quite addicting, and it is actually quite fun to do. And I actually did actually have about over 4 hours played on this mode alone so far today. So I actually had quite a fun grind, and I'm already Prestige 7, everybody. So everybody who gave me a shout out in my recent videos, thank you so much. Thank you all for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. And yeah, well, this mode actually is a lot more casual than multiplayer. I'll give it that. I'll give it that, because in this mode you can get multiple kills without dying, and then automatically win the game. But the thing is that there's always something. So when you actually go around the map looking for guns and stuff like that, that's your first priority. But the main priority, I think, in this mode is to always get the loadout drop, and make sure you always have your special guns, or your custom guns set up in your loadout before you begin the match. Because and to win these modes, what do is I depend on the loadout of my custom loadout to actually win the match. So I don't try to go around looking for the map for guns to win the game. I automatically just get the loadout, and I automatically do exactly that. I just use my own gun. So that's kind of what the multiplayer was for the preseason, was to basically amp up all the possible guns you could possibly get the max camos and all that fun jazz. But I'm still doing camo grinds to this day. But I already did master two guns of the camos, so I already did get two master gun already completed. So I just need 28 guns to get the Tempest, and that's not that big of a deal. But I can do that in the new year. That's not that big of an issue for me. But what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to get to Prestige 10 by New Year's Eve. Is actually what I'm trying to do. So what I found is that when you play this mode with teammates that actually do talk to you and actually do communicate with you, you can actually win matches, and it is actually quite easy to do. But the thing is that the people that play in these matches are either players or they're bots, and you can always tell the difference between the two, because one will just stand there and let you shoot them, and the other one will shoot back. So you automatically know when you're playing a real player, and then when you're actually playing an NPC. But it's just like, it's actually one of those cool grinds that I found was actually a lot easier to get XP for than just doing the multiplayer matches over and over again and expecting a different result. So, and this mode does go a lot faster, because as the teammates as the players decrease, the zone closes in, so you always have to be in the middle of the map. So that's kind of what I actually kind of learned in my experience of playing Call of Duty all these years, is that whenever you play Resurgence or you play Warzone, you always want to be in the center of the map, because that's always where the dot will always end up, or somewhere near it at least. So you always want to be in that vicinity of the map. But the main goal in this actual this actual game type is actually just to wipe out as many players as you possibly can before the timer, before the zone finally closes all the way in. And you gotta stick with your teammates, and you gotta actually back them up, and you actually gotta make sure you don't go into a full squad of like basically basically whoop ass, because these people will actually team camp you. So it's actually kind of it's actually kind of interesting not to basically go full lone wolf, but you can go lone wolf a little bit, but don't depend on that to win the match, because that's not gonna do it for you. But overall, I think this mode was actually quite fun to grind, and it is still fun to grind to this very day, because I'm already almost rank 30 prestige 7, so I'm almost halfway done. So I might get to prestige 8 by Sunday night. We'll see, but you'll just have to stay tuned for that, because that's gonna be kind of interesting if I hit prestige 8 before my birthday. And my birthday is actually the Monday after this one coming up, so I actually have about a week before I got my 8 prestige goal uh, to complete. So I was actually kind of happy about that. But yeah, no, like, and these modes are really really fun to do, because they give you less pushback from actual competitive play. But it is still kind of annoying to actually win a match when the opposite opposing player teams are actually working together as well, and then they're trying to take you down as a unit. So you gotta always stick with your team. But I was getting into player matches where these teammates would just not know how to play the game, and I was just like, yo, like the people were like, oh, why is no one talking? Why is no one talking? And I'm like, well, honey, if you've actually played games for over 30 years, you know why people don't talk in actual competitive, actual, zone, matches, because they actually want to concentrate. It's just like, it's just that, it's as simple as that. And then she went dead quiet and stuff like that. But it was actually kind of funny. But, it was one of those things that, it was kind of one of those WTF moments that you get in lobbies. But it was just like, yeah, no, it's just like, people were getting annoyed by her talking like that, and I was just like, like, how are you a grown woman? You don't understand why people don't talk in video games. Like, how are you that dumb? Like, I don't understand that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's just me. But you know, but yeah, no, I've been having a blast. I've been having a blast. I actually just watched the House of Asher first two episodes while I was taking a break, and I got to admit that show is bomb. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It is such a mirage to the old Spartacus series back in the day that I gotta admit they did a really good job of following up with a not a continuation, but like more of an actual kind of like a different reality to it, which was actually pretty cool. But but overall, I think this mode is actually quite entertaining to play. And the tips that I would give to people that are learning how to play this mode for the first time is like, don't always assume everybody is a player. Don't automatically assume that. Sometimes you can kill people really easily, and then sometimes you got to fight for it. So there's always that trade off. So, but you can always tell if the other person is a real player when they're shooting back at you, because the bots will just stand still, and they'll just like look around, and they won't do anything, and they won't even notice you, and that's actually kind of how you know it's a bot. So it's really easy to do that. But because real players will automatically notice you if they're right next to you. So it's like, yeah, you automatically know the difference. But I think it creates a kind of casual flow. But we'll see what happens when the hardcore people actually get on this mode, if they choose to play it, because I'm kind of curious what this mode would actually look like if you had a whole bunch of teams that actually knew what the hell they were doing, and actually actually fought for it and stuff like that, and see how how sweaty it would actually get. That would actually be kind of interesting to find out. But overall, I would recommend this Resurgence casual mode because this is the best way to level up your prestige rank or your rank in general, and it has a separate stat bar to your multiplayer. So the stats that you get in this mode do not count on your multiplayer stats, and your multiplayer stats do not count on this mode. So they're two separate sections. But on this mode, I got a 3.0 KD, and I've been in the top 10 20 times. So it's like it's just like it's really easy to do, and it's really easy to farm, and it gives you a lot of XP if you do multiple matches over and over and over again. But I think this is actually quite the simple solution to the SBMM issue that we have in regular multiplayer. Is I think that if everybody's getting sick and tired of getting stomped in multiplayer, go play Resurgence, have some fun, learn how to learn the ins and outs of the mode, but you'll get a lot more kills, and you get a lot more challenges done that way. So because there's more people in the mode, so there's more people to kill. That's basically how that works. But yeah, so you'll see in a few minutes how this game kind of ended in kind of like me dying. But I actually did watch my teammate actually do the final kill, so it does show the victory and stuff like that. But this mode was actually quite a jewel to find. I got to admit, I've actually had a lot of fun playing this. So this mode is probably what I'm going to be going to for the foreseeable future. As far as the new maps on the multiplayer season 1, I got to admit that none of them really spoke to me. None of them really. I didn't really like any of them because basically when I played them on the season 1 mosh pit, everybody was a sweat, so everybody was just stomping me. So I couldn't have time to learn the map or anything like that. I just had to jump right in. So that was kind of the experience with those maps. But then I tried out Warzone for the first time, and then I saw Resurgence, and I was like, ooh, I want to do that. And then let's do that. And then I got this gameplay, and I was like, ooh, I got to show you guys this because this is actually really, really cool gameplay. How this was actually working and stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, I killed him. Yep, he did. And then I get surrounded. Watch this. Boom, 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 boom. I'm dead. And then I'm basically watching my teammate right here. Yeah, watch how he does this. This is mad interesting. So he backs up out of the smoke. He waits for the guy to come around, and then he goes boom, 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 dead, victory. That's how we do that. That's how we do that, people. So if I can do it, you can do it too. It's not that hard. You just gotta have good teammates and good understanding of how the game works. That's all it takes. But this is Reaper. Thank you all so much for the new subscribers. And if you like this video, leave a comment. I'll reply. And yeah, give it a like. This is Reaper, and I'll talk to you guys later. Later.